Hey, what's up, people? I'm IGP and welcome back to Subnautica. Another video for you beautiful people where there is absolutely zero gameplay. But not to worry, we have a lot of juicy stuff to talk about. Now, I'm gonna say this will be my last video on Subnautica covering things like concept art and little sneak peeks that we've been getting over the last few months. To be completely honest with you, I really don't enjoy making content like this more than actually playing the game. So I will catch you guys up with everything that I have up to this very moment, and hopefully sometime soon, the devs will open up and start working on a public basis or open development. They already stated that they want to do this. In fact, Tom Hubert, I'm assuming that's how you say that, I could be completely wrong, stated on Twitter, "I am so excited for everyone to discover our ambitious plans for the Subnautica expansion coming next year. And the time for that discovery is fast approaching us. We don't like closed development." Now, the reason why this is so exciting is because we already know that the devs have talked about the game being in early access sometime later this year. A snippet of Obraxis saying in the Discord server, "The next Subnautica chapter will be released into early access at some point later this year, hopefully." Of course, hopefully is always the word you want to use. Who knows what'll happen? But they said it would be incomplete and raw like Subnautica was when it came into early access. Which means that we are going to get our hands on the game in a very early state, and we get to watch it grow just like we did with Subnautica, which I think is probably the best way to go about doing that. Now, one can assume that if it's going in early access, that the devs are also going to open back up the Trello pages and the Subnautica Changes Twitter and site that we used to have access to back in the day. Well, we still have access to, but they haven't been updated in a long time because Subnautica is done. Here's to hoping that we might get some stuff before we even get to play the game. Look at this. There's already a countdown of sorts. And just because it says this is not an early access countdown, that does not mean that they're not going to be opening up development in general, maybe releasing more information to the public until then. I mean, it could just be until the next concept art is dropped, but I'm hopeful. I mean, the game has already been tested, and this was announced some time ago. The first ever Subnautica expansion internal team playtest is underway. This is when we all try to simultaneously play the game start to finish and chat about the progress. There will be bugs. Now, this was posted on the 24th of July, so some time ago. I know I'm late to the party. Now, obviously what you're seeing here is the home screen for the expansion, which is likely to change. You can see the silhouettes of the alien penguins, and they're actually in the shape of the penguins that we've been getting concept art for, which is nice to see. Here's another snippet by Hugh Jeremy. Says, "Big ol' whole team Subnautica expansion playtest happening. Goal, first 2 hours playable." Anyway, that was like a long introduction that kind of got winded into other information because I'm excited to talk about this stuff. It's really hard to organize all of it, but if you guys are still enjoying Subnautica, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. If you have any ideas of anything that I can do in the game that will be new, different, and refreshing so I can continue a series, that would be great. A lot of you guys keep asking me to play Subnautica, but unfortunately, there's not much left for me to do until the expansion comes out. But if you guys have any creative ideas, let me know. Anyway, back to the news. The expansion page on the wiki is pretty much the same. Not much has changed, except for it does say that the large bird is now going to be a potential feature in the game. We did see it in a lot of the concept arts that we showed off in the last video. This right here is the large bird. Closely resembles the sky ray. Quite beautiful, long tail. I think we talked about this before, but we all know what the large bird is. So there are different subjects that I kind of want to talk about and focus on in this video for you guys. I'm going to try to break it up the best I can. First, I want to start with vehicles, because vehicles are extremely important. Now, some of this information, of course, a lot of you might have seen from other YouTubers, or if you keep up with the developers on the Subnautica Discord, or their Twitters, or whatever, you might have seen all of this stuff already. But let's get started with some vehicles. First thing I want to bring up is a statement from Corey on the Discord server. Now, this was back in June that he stated this, but I think it's very important for people to understand this before I show any of the new concept arts until it's confirmed or we get to see it in game. Corey said, "Again, don't read too much into these concepts, the art. Many were very early explorations before much had been decided about the game. So just because an image features a specific vehicle, for example, doesn't mean that it is going to be in the expansion. That is very important. That is very important. Keep that in mind always. Now, he did follow up by saying, that said, the exosuit, is likely to stay in the expansion. We have no current plans to remove it. Now, some of you might not know it as the exosuit. That is what it was called back in the day. This is the prawn suit, which is currently in the top of this concept art, the one with the scary guy at the bottom. Kind of nice to know. I feel like it'll play a good role in pretty much any environment. So let's get into the concept art. The first one here is one of my personal favorites, mainly because you get the first glimpse of a potential design for the hovercraft. The hovercraft being a vehicle that has been talked about for a long time being in the expansion and is going to play a huge role in navigating the surfaces of the expansion. Now, again, all of these things are just concepts. A lot can change. In any case, aside from this beauty, let's actually zoom in a bit on that. Oh yeah, look at that guy. But you can actually see Riley. Hey, look at that. It's confirmation Riley is in the expansion. Oh, I forgot to mention, very important, pay attention. The Wasp. Okay, the WASP, that is a mod. This is not something that is confirmed or will ever be in the Arctic biome. This is not something the developers have created, even though other mediums might make you believe that it is in the game. It's not. And it is also not a part of the base game. It is a mod. So please, don't spam the developers talking about the Wasp as if it's a thing, or demand that it be a thing. Enjoy the rest of the video. So now, another interesting aspect of this concept art, which is probably what you first notice aside from the hovercraft, and it's the center of these spikes, these ice sculptures, if you will, that are poking out of the ground. A lot of people like to say that it is alien related because it's glowing, it's blue. Now, this phenomenon is actually something that happens in these environments. This is not alien technology. This is not anything super strange. It could be. Now, I'm not ruling it completely out. It does look amazing, and if you look at it, just at first glance, it looks extremely alien. Now, I will say, on the left side here, zoom in on that. It looks like there's a possible cave right here. God, that made me sick. And here to support my argument for the ice caves is Corey. Look at the cave, dude. Could be a cave. We're gonna have above ground caves, dude. Can you believe it? The next one up on the list is this beautiful piece, and it's called the Thermal Zone, which, as you can see, it has a lot of similar aspects to other biomes that we've seen in the base game, such as these smokestacks right up here. I'll try to control this as best I can. Right there, which is nice because it adds some contrast. You have an area where you can feel a little bit more secure and safe and not freezing to death. You can go to the Thermal Zone, dude. That also, right here, is indeed a Seamoth. I cannot focus on this. That actually is really funny. I'm gonna leave this in. Me failing miserably at trying to zoom in on things. Pretty cool. That's a Seamoth again. No confirmation that the Seamoth is going to be in the expansion. It's just in here for show, for scale, for the same reason that the character we're seeing in a lot of these concept arts is Riley Robinson, when we know it's not going to be. It's going to be a unnamed female character. That's the Thermal Zone. Now, there's a lot of fauna in here. It actually looks like there's some gel sacks, potentially brain coral. We also have these glowy, particly crevasses. I don't know exactly what they could be. Some of them still seem to be springing with life. Others seem to have died out and are empty. It's a beautiful piece. Now, what I really like about this is how it kind of resembles a desert for the most part. The color scheme, aside from the water, the color scheme very much resembles that. The smokestacks in the background look like cactus or cacti. Is that the plural? I don't know. And of course, you have these like rocky areas. It's very flat, ever expanding, and you can see the heat. It's just this, it very much feels hot. I love that they were able to do that. Well done, guys. Well done. Now, the next two concept arts I'm going to show you are done by Dima Pertsula. I don't know how many previous concept arts were done by this artist, but just to set it up and let you know, that's who did it. The last one was from Pat Presley, and the one with the hovercraft was by Corey Strader. So, here we are again with another concept art of a different biome. Again, you can see the Seamoth, but look at these beautiful mushroom-like, flower-like, jellyfish-like flora. That could be fauna, okay? Not ruling it out, but that is absolutely beautiful. There are tiny ones around it and there's gigantic ones right in the center. I don't know what kind of creatures you might run into down here, maybe none. Yes, but there's one thing I did notice, if you didn't though. Dun dun can't get to it. Where the hell is it? It's absolutely too uniform to be flora. This is likely precursor technology. I shit you not. It's probably true. By the way, my friends, my good friends, this is not the wasp. Let's stop that right now. This is just a little doodle. It's a submarine that we can't confirm is going to be a thing. I'm pretty sure that design was a way long ago concept art. I don't have it on hand. I'm sure I could find it, but I'm lazy. I don't know how this would form. This is like the reverse of currents, it seems like. These, if this were inverted, I know that's kind of confusing, but if it was just inverted, it would be something that could happen, like currents can flow and keep that water from freezing. But in this specific scenario, I have no idea how this could form. This is a really cool environmental piece. If you guys know if this actually happens or how this could happen, you can let me know in the comment section. But there might be something in there. That'd be awesome. Maybe there's eggs in this Arctic environment. Maybe some creatures can lay eggs in there. Anything is possible indeed. Even that back one, look at that. Look at that. It's kind of creepy if you imagine it to be some giant creature kind of just stuck in there, you know? Anyway, there you go. Those are the, as they're called, ice columns. Beautiful stuff. Now, we actually have some in-game screenshots or some teasers of screenshots by Liam Tart, who says, "Can't wait to show everybody what we're working on for the Subnautica expansion. I think you'll like what we're cooking up. I've been a lot more involved in the art side of things, which has been so much fun. Here's a few teaserific little screenshots." There's a green glowing aura coming out of these rocks. I have no idea what that could be resembling. Over here's another part of what I would have to assume is the same one, but it could be a different one. And as you can see, there's a little bit of technology up in the top middle. Look at that. That's probably a floodlight or like one of those light stands, because there's obviously a light source emitting. It's very bright in the center and just kind of dies off. And the shadow is directly underneath the pole, although it's to the side on these rocks over here. That means the light source is probably right there, probably a light stand or floodlight. Now there's a reflection of something down in the bottom left. I can't tell exactly what it is, but it looks kind of weird. That's kind of creepy. The more I look at it, the more I start seeing like a creature and a face, and I don't want to continue to look at it. I think this is actually part of the base game. That kind of grass, I can't say what it is. I have no idea. Anyway, so that covers the biomes or the areas within the Arctic region and the vehicles. Let's move into the fauna, the creatures. There's not much new, still some good stuff. So I want to start with the creatures or the concepts that have been scrapped, or basically the creatures that will not be in game. Now, I'm not sure if I talked about this in the last episode, but unfortunately, this is the icebreaker, or as you may remember it as being the Arctic reefback. It says it is evolved from the reefback, and the creature was to cut its way through pack ice and stay near surface plankton. Now, a lot of detail went into figuring out how this thing would work in this environment. In fact, it has its own cutlery underneath its skull, right here at the bottom. Right here. Right there. The claws here would deflect the ice from going into its intake so it can breathe properly. And what it did was it would lift itself up onto the ice and then chef knife itself down. I cannot control this. And then it just destroys the ice and just keeps moving. So it's basically, it would look like it's just consuming the ice. Pretty great stuff. Unfortunately, it will not be used in the game. Now, you guys are going to love this one if you haven't already seen it before. This is the Crested Reaper. This is going to be unused. Keep that in mind, but this thing would be terrifying. It is the Arctic version of the Reaper, basically. It says an orca-sized relative of the Reaper Leviathan of the tropics. This species is cunning, bumping ice floes to knock large prey into the water and hunting small fish below. Again, the deceptions here, it looks very cute, looks very dolphin-like or swordfish-like, and then once it opens its mouth, it is absolutely terrifying. It has scars on its fin from the battles it gets into. The little claws around the mouth like Jeepers fucking creepers. Closes as it swims and opens when it needs to eat. The stuff of nightmares, as always. So again, there aren't that many new ones, but here is another compilation, or I guess you could say a collage of potential fauna in the game. Subnautica creature concepts. Look at this one. A. Gelatinous body. Internal flagella. Flagella? I have no idea what that is. Provides propulsion. B. The planktivorous jelly swims carrying an ice shell. Retracts when in danger. Head shield seals the ice. That is a very strange creature, and this one's kind of very similar. C. Neutrally buoyant filter feeder, retracted. Again, there's a lot of retraction going on. Here's another one. Jesus Christ, what the hell is this, the fucking future? Filter feeder can retract into spherical shell. That's some fourth dimensional stuff right there. All right, D. This one looks cute. Swimming fins right there. Rope ejected when pursued. Rope either explodes, causing damage, or blinding light. So the smaller creatures that are constantly preyed on are now focused a lot on diversions and illusions, which again kind of ties in with the illusion or the deception of the much larger creatures who are ever so graceful and inviting, but then turn out to be horrendous and terrifying. Much like this thing that we showed off before. It has its way of escaping and leaving its ice behind as a decoy. And then there's this thing. I don't really know what I'm looking at, but it says the proboscis is rigid. The proboscis is rigid, moves at the base so it can swing back and forth. I'm assuming that's a bioluminescent light. Glowing spheres, I don't know what those do. A creature with a long, mobile proboscis for snatching food. 2 mobile feelers on the head detect odors and vibration, and when pursued, the animal swims off rapidly in an arc, leaving a trail of glowing blue spheres to distract predators. So here we go again. Deception, illusion, distraction, decoys, all ties in together. What does it all mean, dude? Now, the stuff that isn't on the wiki, which is something I kind of want to bring up, and that is a few snippets that Abraxas posted in the Discord server. Here we go. Boom! That is, I don't know. It's a snippet of something. It is a claw-like thing, so potentially mouth, could be a fin, very sharp, and it seems like it would have to be likely pretty sturdy in order to hoard it. It almost looks like a heated up blade. There's even a slight glow in the background. If you can't see it, I will up the gamma so you can. That's just the first part. Let's take a look at this thing. Now, for me, this is way more interesting. Yeah, that, I don't know what we're looking at here. I think I might have an idea, but I don't know. All I know is that it's glowing. I don't know if that's because it's a light or because it's hot. It could be some kind of crystal. It could be a 1,000-degree knife, dude. We don't know. But as you can see, there's a glow all around this in the background, too, which you can just faintly see. I don't know what this is, but Abraxas, being the sneaky devil that he is, this is probably something much more crazy than it appears to be. So I think that just about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. I hope some of this news is exciting to you. I hope you are just as anxious to be able to get your hands on the expansion as I am. If you want some more information, links will be down in the description below. Feel free to chat it up in the comments, or if you're on the Discord server, you can do it there as well. Again, this will be my last news piece, concept art coverage until we actually get something more tangible, either by playing the game or seeing a little bit more from the devs via Trello or something like that. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Are you ready for another Subnautica news? Where we cover everything from concept art to even more concept art. Have you been falling behind on the news? You can count on me, IGP, to keep you in the loop. Welcome back to Subnautica.